Games employees have started anonymously speaking out, saying they're worried about Grand Theft Auto 6 and they might not be able to finish it. We'll be talking about all of that in this video today and a whole lot more. So what I'm talking about today is an article on the website Aftermath, and they actually interviewed two Rockstar Games employees anonymously regarding the big change that Rockstar Games made a few weeks ago. The article title is Rockstar Employees Concerned About Crunch, Grand Theft Auto 6 as Company Moves Forward with Return to Office. And in case you guys are wondering what's going on, well, late last month, Rockstar Games basically told employees that beginning on April 15th, they would have to work out of the office 5 days per week. And it was a deeply unpopular decision that prompted a lot of public outcry from workers at a typically secretive studio. And weeks after that announcement, Rockstar has yet to give any ground, and now Rockstar employees are worried that the company is in danger of sliding back into old bad habits like crunch, which could hurt both Grand Theft Auto 6 and the people creating it. Now, shortly after this announcement was made, we actually covered that Rockstar Games employees, in conjunction with the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain, actually spoke out against the decision, fearing an unnecessary hit to work-life balance that might end up proving a deal breaker for some. And since then, two additional Rockstar employees, speaking with the website Aftermath, have said that little has changed since the last month, even as the clock ticks down to April. And this is what they had to say. The only news I know of is some reports of some people being admonished to varying degrees for voicing disagreement with the return to office plan. But otherwise, we are just waiting for more information from management about how the hell this is going to work. In a February memo to employees, Rockstar said it's forcing this issue due to productivity and security concerns. The latter, at least, employees can understand, following a 2022 leak that revealed substantial unfinished portions of Grand Theft Auto 6. Going on to say security is definitely the argument that's easier to take in good faith, because we have had leaks and they're a serious problem. We need to do as much as we can to make it harder for attackers to get into our systems. We've historically had leaks regardless of what setup we had. Back with Red Dead Redemption 2, we had leaks around the launch of that game. It's never going to be 100% fully secure. People will be motivated to leak our content because there's a great deal of interest in the products that we make. Now, the article goes on to say, while Rockstar's exact approach to return to office is still taking shape, workers have been informed they're losing access to most forms of remote work, including communication tools. One Rockstar employee said, "We won't be able to answer Slack messages and emails and stuff like that when we're at home anymore," which is a big loss because a lot of our work is intercontinental. Now, the article goes on to say, when the news first broke that Rockstar employees would have to return to the office, some fans cheered the decision, suggesting that increased proximity and oversight would somehow make Grand Theft Auto 6 better, and that certain elements of production, like motion capture, simply couldn't be done any other way. That, said current Rockstar employees, is a misconception rooted in ignorance of how game development works. Going on to say, if you're a programmer, it's quite a bit easier for you to work remotely than it is for other roles involved in acting and motion capture and things like that. But the reality is, for probably the majority of people in the development staff, you don't need to be in the office every single day to do your job. If we look at our previous project, Red Dead Redemption 2, where we were working 5 days in the office, we were still working remotely with all the other studios. So whether you were in the office or not, you were still doing remote work. You work with so many people on so many different teams, a good majority of them will not be at the same place where you work. They also added that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 were developed almost entirely remotely, adding to a growing body of evidence that teams don't need to be in an office 5 days a week to complete projects. And workers at Rockstar are worried about where things will go from here. The studio's struggles with brutal crunch are well documented, and though things have improved in recent times, employees are concerned they're staring down the barrel of a backslide. Going on to say, we're concerned about going back to that. I've been through a couple of projects, both of which had crunch. The first was extremely difficult. I had way less gray hair back then. We want to continue the strides we've made as a company to remove that toxic culture. And even outside of crunch, these small pain points have a way of piling up. If you're having to stay late to deal with a meeting, which could maybe be a quick Slack message, and then commuting on top of getting back home late at night, that obviously impacts your personal life. With what we have at the moment as policy, if you're slightly ill, you can work from home as long as your lead agrees. In a world where we are still dealing with COVID, just being able to be considerate of your colleagues around you and staying away from the office is a really good benefit to have. That will be completely lost. That's going to result in a loss of productivity for the company. Going on to say, we're quite worried that we're going to lose personnel over this, or it will have a large negative impact on people's health. It's a very anti-parent move. For people with disabilities, it's a massive problem. And employees also admitted to being concerned about the state of the project, but said that their colleagues are their primary concern. And this could have a profound negative impact on Grand Theft Auto 6 as it enters the final stretch of development. In regular layoff, companies can at least be precise with who they're putting on the chopping block. Forcing people out is a much easier process that could result in the loss of key staff. Going on to say, having people who've been through the end of a game project before, who know what to do in that situation and know what's the best decision to make to solve a problem, is better than having people who haven't had that experience, who might make mistakes they otherwise wouldn't have if there wasn't this pressure. Losing key people in teams would be very, very bad. And the timing of this decision has forced employees feeling like they're being backed into a corner. Going on to say, the fact that they waited to make this decision until after the situation in the video game industry became so dire with so many layoffs, it doesn't make me feel particularly charitable towards management. Going on to say, it felt very opportunistic that the state of the industry would be such that you would be forced to accept what management was deciding because the likelihood of you getting another job in the industry would be lower. And the last thing that these Rockstar Games employees said was this: we have to operate relatively in the shadows as there's an anti-solicitation policy at Rockstar preventing union materials from being distributed at the studio. By going public with this, I think we've had a bunch of people who then started to join. Hopefully we'll get unionized in the UK and other studios will be able to as well. And we can all stand together to make decisions we think will benefit the company and the project's longer term, retaining the high quality of staff we have to continue to make these genre-defining products. So all in all, this really doesn't sound like great news for Grand Theft Auto 6 or Rockstar Games employees, and I would obviously love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. I know it's going to be a very discussion-heavy video, and I would like for you guys to chime in if you have either A, worked from home and worked from the office, or even if you haven't had a job yet. I'm sure there was a point in time where you were doing schooling from home or university from home, and now you might be going back to your actual classrooms. Let me know which one you preferred, which one was easier, which one you think was better, and do you think those same metrics translates to Rockstar and their employees when it comes to making a massive video game hit like GTA 6? Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.